Right, we finished bass now, and actually what we're doing next is we're looking at Logic files that the band and Elliot actually worked on the demoing process. There was actually a lot of really useful keyboard parts and some really interesting sounds. So basically what we're doing now is looking at the Logic files, importing the sounds that we like, importing MIDI for other sounds, and we're retracking sounds using the MIDI. So really it's a question of going through the layers of keyboards, deciding which parts we're going to use, which parts we're not going to use, and just trying to make some calls on keyboard sounds really. And the beauty of this song in particular is the band had done a lot of work on it before we started recording. So there's a lot of really useful and interesting sounds that they'd already created at home. So I don't like to dismiss those sounds just because you're in a bigger studio recording. So we're going to look at those and use those and incorporate those into the track as much as we can. This way we retain the integrity of the original recording, which I tried to do as much as possible, especially with a song like this that's quite heavily programmed. But yeah, so we're going to carry on doing that for a while, and then we're going to look at some guitars.
We finally sorted out all the keyboard parts that we imported from Logic. So I'm just going to play through some of these sounds now so you can have a listen. First of all, I've got this part here, which is a chorus bass part. Now for this part we actually imported the MIDI file and just used a plugin inside Pro Tools, this vacuum here, which gives a nice bounce to the chorus. I've also got this chorus stab here, and on this I've just put this Maserati plugin, and the idea of this is just to give it a bit more brightness and kind of punch so it cuts through. If I bypass that, you can just hear when it's on, it's got more punch. So just continuing through on the chorus sounds, there is this sound here, which is quite a main sound. Haven't actually done anything to that as of yet, but that's quite a main feature through the song. And there's another sound here, which is high synth line. Now, I've used quite a few plugins here, mainly just EQ. I've got a high frequency roll off, just to roll off any of the top end hiss really, and also a low frequency roll off, because there's no sound really below about 1 kilohertz. I'm just getting rid of all that rumble. On top of that, I'm compressing that using this Crystal Dauge 1176 plugin, and I'm sending that to an echo as well, which is this echo boy here. There's a few more sounds in the chorus. There's this one here, which we've called Flow Motion. Now a lot of these sounds are going to be combined together. So there's also this majestic sound and a mellotron sound as well. So that's all the chorus sounds. If I just combine them all, okay, you can hear all those. I'll play the whole track together. Great, so they get the idea of that. There's also some stuff in the verse as well. There's this Rhodes part, which is quite a main part. And I've put some delay and that kind of thing on that. Nice tremolo effect. And then halfway through the verse comes this gated synth here. So I'll play that in the track. And finally, in the middle 8 section, there's another Rhodesy type part. And what we've done here is we've put on this echo boy. So if I bypass this, you can hear the sound has changed quite a lot. It's quite dry. So we've got this kind of ping pong delay going on. Quite a cool breakdown dance effect. also this beeping part, which continues from here throughout the rest of the song. And apart from that, there's a few sort of other effects that were quite cool that we've kept, like just reverse parts, big explosions, and also down here I've got some sweeps. So that pretty much makes up the majority of all the parts that we imported from Logic. At the moment the levels aren't set or defined or anything, but at least all the parts are in there, and now we can start tracking the guitars over top of all the stuff.